Hey, this is Red. So I've been playing a lot of WWE 2K22 recently, and I just want to kind of give my thoughts after 54 hours of gameplay. So I've been into these games for a while. I buy them every year if they come out. Um, I've been playing them my whole life. I've played pretty much all of them. Not some of the really older ones, but like the 2K ones, all the SmackDown versus Raws, and these games are just, to me, they're so fun. I like playing them. I like achievement hunting in them. I've dumped hours into all of them. But after being disappointed by 2K20, really disappointed by 2K20, I was really scared to play 2K22. Like, even Battlegrounds, like, I enjoyed it, but I thought it was too short. There really wasn't a lot to do, in my opinion. It could have been a little longer, I think. A little bit. Yeah. But 2K22, I was really excited for, but I was also, probably like a lot of people, pretty nervous. Like, I'm an achievement hunter, and I had to delete my save like 3 times, and I had to replay the career for 2K22 or 2K20 like 3 times because this achievement just wouldn't work. I kept messing it up, and well, I ended up pre-ordering 2K22, the deluxe version, because I had a feeling it was going to be a stack, and it was. And that's something I've never done before in wrestling games. So, yeah, let's get into it. So the first mode I want to talk about is called My Faction. This is probably my favorite mode. When I first started playing the game, it worked fine, and then for like 2 days, it wouldn't really work because it's tied to a server. But when you go into this, you have to choose like from 4 different, like, you basically choose if you want to start on like Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, and I chose Raw. And when you do that, you have to, like, when you pick Raw, you get, basically you get AJ Styles or Becky Lynch. Then they give you like cosmetics and like a contract, which lets them fight more matches before they tell you they can't fight anymore. You get like side plates, which gives you like perks and stuff. Basically, SmackDown, you get Rey Mysterio and Bayley, and like for Raw, you get Stephanie McMahon as a manager, Paul Heyman as a manager in SmackDown. If you choose NXT, you get William Regal as a manager, Tommaso Ciampa, I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry, and you get Raquel Gonzalez. And then there's like different modes even in like My Faction. Like there's Proving Grounds, which is like, Proving Grounds is meant to be like a story mode. Like you start out fighting people from NXT, and then I'm assuming you go to Raw, and then like SmackDown or something. But I haven't played yet past NXT. And then there's there's Faction Wars, which is my favorite one. But it's just like a 4 versus 4. Like you have 4 people on a team, and you'll fight people. And like after each match, you get a reward, and the rewards get better the higher you go in the Faction Wars tower. And the only thing that I don't like about this is it's only a normal 4 versus 4 match. I really think they need to add more to it, but other than that, it gets me using superstars I normally wouldn't, which I really like. I usually like tagging my teammates and use their finisher if I see they're close, and then end it with Becky Lynch. And then like there's weekly towers. I've only done 2 of them. I think there's like 5. It's just a bunch of random matches basically. Sometimes a 1v1. You might get a tag team match. And there's like locker codes you can get. I've only found 2. They unlock a superstar, and basically you need to get more cards. Like if say you want Jeff Hardy, you got to get his card. But playing Faction Towers, you honestly unlock a lot of the stuff in this. But I mean, like if you wanted to buy some like card packs, you could too. But I don't really recommend it. So the My GM mode in the game, I wasn't really excited for this mode. I know a lot of people were, but honestly, I found myself enjoying it for what it was. it's really not a horrible mode. You can choose the GM you want. You can choose which show you want to take over. You can choose like how many weeks you want the show to go. It's pretty cool. You can customize a lot of stuff in it. And I found myself enjoying it quite a bit. It's the only thing that sucks is it's overall it's kind of pretty bare bones. You go through, you buy some superstars basically, and um, well, basically you want to just try to like you want to be number one at the end of the year, and it's not too hard. You the way the game wants you to do it is to buy giants and have them fight cruiserweights. You want to buy bruisers and have them fight fighters, except you want to make sure you also have a face going up against a heel, or your matches won't do that good, which I think is weird. I kind of want to just have anybody fight whoever. Like for example, looking at this, you couldn't have Edge fight John Cena because they're both faces, so it's like that kind of sucks. The one thing I'm not a fan of, like I said, the mode is pretty bare bone. So when you start, for example, I'm on Raw, I have the Raw Men's Championship, and you choose like a champion. Then you just have the women's, and you choose a champion. Like there's no tag team belt. Like you can't really do much of anything. The older games, I think all the belts were in play, which I wish there was more. And then the matches are pretty bare bones. Like you can just have a 1v1 or a tag team. There's no like 4 versus 4 fatal 4-way. It's either a 1v1 or a tag team. I would say the only thing good about it at least, like if you do a tag team match, you can do like normal tables, extreme rules, TLC, I want to sell, but it's like there's so much missing from the mode. I think out of all the modes, this one is for me definitely disappointing, I would say. I feel like it could have been really fun if they just added a few more things to it. One of the parts of the game I always look forward to is the showcase mode. Now, there was one of the games, I think it might have been 2K18. They had one on Daniel Bryan and the Four Horsewomen, and that one I loved. I loved hearing what Daniel Bryan had to say. I learned a lot about him. It was awesome. And this one is no exception. In this one, it's focused on pretty much Rey Mysterio and his fights with Eddie Guerrero. That one's pretty a good chunk of the story. You fight Batista. I think you fight Undertaker. You fight, I think they get like JBL. It's some good matches. You go through and you like do certain things like objectives the game tells you to do, and then you'll see a cutscene, and it's cool because you'll be in the match, and like you'll go to do something and it'll cut to like Ray doing it from video game to real life, and that's what I think is so cool. You see like cutscenes of Ray talking about the match, telling you about the match and what happened, and it's really good. It's to me that's what 2K does the best in these games by far. So my rise is kind of like the campaign mode in the game, kind of like the career mode, I guess you would say. And yeah, you can play as a female or male. If you're an achievement hunter like me, you have to play both. And basically, you just gotta like go through each show, win the titles, and so it's actually kind of good. You start out at the performance center. There's like side quests basically you can do. You need to get like 300,000 fans on social media. You can play till your character is like max attribute points. You get like points doing the side quests and stuff, so they're kind of worth doing. But you start out at the performance center. Once you prove you can like make it, you get to choose if you want to go to NXT, SmackDown, or Raw. It doesn't matter which one you choose because you'll be on like NXT, and they'd be like, "Hey, there's a superstar shakeup happening. You want to enter it?" And then you can like choose which one you want to try to like get to take you, basically. And that's pretty much all it is. It like never ends. I played it so much. I had a point where like I couldn't even choose anything, but it was like letting me play still. So there's no like end credits, which is a little weird. And the matches too are kind of like they're kind of the same, but I mean there is some like I played a like a Money in the Bank ladder match in one of the female matches, which was pretty intense, to be honest. I liked it a lot. And yeah, it's a pretty decent mode, I think. So, universe mode. In this mode, you can play as like a superstar, and when you play as a superstar, there's like basically there's like a curator mode type thing. And in this mode, you can make matches, you can start rivalries, you can end rivalries, start tag teams, end them. Basically whatever you want. And there's also the classic universe, which is you just make any match you want with any superstar. And I liked playing like the Hell in a Cell when I did it. They made breaking out of the cell like so easy. In the other one, it was a little bit confusing. I liked jumping off the top of the cell one of the opponent. It's a little bit confusing to figure out how to jump though. It took me a couple tries, and then I like throwing them through the top. But it's a pretty cool mode. It's okay. Okay, so now that we've talked about all the game modes, now let's get into the gameplay and my thoughts on the game. So I thought the game was very good. I loved it. I'm still playing it. I have to finish the men's my rise, and then I got a lot of grinding to do in my faction. But I'm loving it. In my opinion, this is the best wrestling game with 2K's name on it. The year or 2 year wait, whatever it was that we had, was worth it. So like my GM mode, my faction mode, in my opinion, is missing a couple things. The showcase was fantastic, but like other than that, so they changed the controls. There's like a combo stuff now, like XXA and XXB. You still hit Y to reverse, but now when they'll be punching you and stuff, and instead of reversing, you'll just you have to gas, basically hit like X, A, or B, and then you'll like break their combo, and then you get back into the fight. I kind of like it. I do it by accident a lot. It's kind of cool, and when you do it, it feels cool. Reversals feel cool. You can table matches in this I love, because you can just pick people up. There'll be a table set outside the ring, and you can just chuck them outside the ring onto the table, and then the match is just over, and it's freaking great. Like you can just pick them up, carry them in the ring even, and just slam them on the ground. I like breaking out of the cell now, because you can just Irish whip them into the wall, and before you had to have a friggin' finisher or something. I hated that. I never barely played Hell in a Cell matches because of it in 2K20. I haven't ran into any game-breaking glitches. There was one or two things I saw, but nothing terrible. And I mean, yeah, to me the game is an 8 out of 10. I loved it. The roster is massive. I think this is the biggest one we've probably had. There's probably at least 15 to 20 women in the game. We have a bunch of the guys. There's new people. There's old. There's the new people. There's the people I grew up watching, because there's a lot of people in this who I'm who's that? Because I don't really watch anymore, but the gameplay feels smooth. Right now I'm playing the Xbox One version, because I want to finish that before I move on to the the upgraded version. Yeah, I'm loving the game. In my opinion, this is a good wrestling game, and I give an 8 out of 10. If my GM mode had a couple more belts in it, if my faction had a couple more matches besides just a simple 2v2 in the friggin' faction wars, it'd be a 9 out of 10. But yeah, 8 out of 10 wrestling game. If you like wrestling, I highly recommend it. It was worth the wait, and I hope we get more games like this, because this, man, this is a wrestling game I wanted. Thank you, 2K. Thank you.